friends. I have with me Claus Ehrenberg, a software engineer and the software architect for Obsidian, ticker symbol ODN. And Obsidian is a kind of unique cryptocurrency that's popped up among the alts. It's a Masternode type coin and proof of stake. I mean, we'll get into the details. I'm sure Claus here could explain it a lot better than me. Welcome to the show, Claus.
That's true, actually. There are really some people working on this. This is not just our advertising agency. It was quite a hard half year since summer, since this was launched, because we basically really did everything from scratch. I mean, including forking and modifying of our wallet, and starting the blockchain, writing the Genesis block. I mean, you don't do this every day or something. And we created an own ICO platform. We didn't use anything. So compared to all these other tokens where you have a lot of things just at the press of a button or so, we really had to dive quite deep into the matter. And we made some progress. So I think our coin, our blockchain is working quite well. We have lots of people who are running nodes. And now just on the 24th, we also released the first real beta version of our messenger app. And it went better than I thought it would work. Basically, it's working, yeah? You can send and receive messages, and my address book is growing. I'm pretty excited.
So the messenger service is actually out right now?
It's online. It's working. You can get the APK for Android, install it on your Android phone, and then I think Android 5 is minimum version, and then you can really use it to communicate with your friends very safely.
Absolutely. I've been looking at that. Is the encrypted message feature built in, or is that something you have to like enable? Or is it just built in?
No, this is secure by default.
Secured by default.
It has a very strong 26-bit encryption. The encryption should be state-of-the-art and state-of-the-art key redshift. So for every message that's sent, a new key pair is generated. So no two messages share the same cryptographic encryption key, which is called perfect forward secrecy. So in case one message gets cracked and the key gets compromised, it's only one message has been compromised and not all messages. And so this is accomplished with Diffie-Hellman key exchange, and this is by message. Every message gets a new cryptographic key in addition to your identity key. So when you create your ID, you get a kind of an identity key pair, and both the identity key pair and an ephemeral key pair is used for the message encryption and message authentication. And so, as Obsidian Messenger obviously is totally under the radar by everyone right now, so the chances this gets really cracked or hacked are really, really, really super low at the moment, because nobody's prepared to even attempt to do this, because this is a new development and not something that has already existed. Like, for example, it's like WhatsApp or Signal or so. So I think this is really a very safe way right now to exchange messages. No user accounts are required. You don't register with email. You don't register with a telephone number. You just have your ID, which is totally anonymous. You're not linked to user information. And well, it's working for 2 days now, so to say. Yeah. So this is
wow.
Quite a relief for me, because I mean, most people just see the user interface when they look at such an app, but the heavy lifting is really going on in other places, on the kind of backend in the app, and also the network things, that the servers don't crack under the first load they get, and this is hard to simulate with developer testing. So far now I'm cautiously optimistic we are going in the right direction.
Absolutely. You guys have a pretty big team. You know, I notice a lot of teams out there for cryptocurrencies in general. They're comprised of like just a handful of people. You guys have a decent sized team. How do you guys all do you guys all live near each other, or how do you work together?
It's totally chaotic. I
Chaotic?
think I think there are kind of small clusters of people inside this larger team who work quite closely together, but we are not thinking every day and all the time. So sometimes the left hand really doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and vice versa. So, but I think, yeah, maybe I think this is natural. You know, if you don't meet in a room every day or so, or in a normal office, and it's also sometimes this is bad, sometimes it's also opportunity because more is happening than you know of, and so someone you get the good news just by reading, looking at the website and say, oh, nice that we have this. Yeah.
And then I'm assuming you're often in touch with Mr. Peter McClory.
Yeah,
talk to him.
We met like 2 weeks ago now, when he went to a trade fair in Switzerland. On the way back, he stopped here by in Munich, and we were having quite a lot of fun for a half day and one night. So, and there were, I think we were 8 people here meeting in Munich, like people from the community, me, another developer, Peter, another developer from Chicago, Pixel, and we had quite some fun, like going out and also planning. But the main work is really happening across Slack and Discord and by email and something.
Yeah, Discord is great. And so right now, your guys' messaging app is on the Android. Is that also for Apple or Windows at all? Anything like that?
Yeah, it's already been developed for Windows and for Windows 10 and also for iOS.
Oh, wow,
there
great.
are some components already written in iOS, but now we concentrated on the Android release. So some 6-8 weeks ago, we had to pick something for a release, and I thought it was a good idea for what's the latest reasonable date you can pick in a year. I thought it was Xmas, Christmas, so I thought, okay, let's do a Christmas release.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we just then we will publish what we have then, and let's try to make it as good as possible. So we picked the date and said, okay, we will make Christmas release, and we were really working very hard to make it work as good as good. We're already collecting the issues on GitHub. As a lead developer, as this, let's first have a cross-platform app to put ourselves on the map.
Absolutely.
Like on Android, on iOS, and Windows.
Yeah.
And with a kind of small feature set, but which works, which serves the purpose. And then when we have this app on all these platforms, then we make it great the next step. Because because then we have the chance to provide continuous improvement. We can have one developer on the iOS app, one developer on the Android app, one developer on the Windows app, and so we can then work from there incrementally, and also with our users checking us and reporting back to us. But when you have nothing and you are just in the planning stage, you're planning and planning and planning, and making plans, this is not good. So we try to be more agile and just read something on which we build.
No, that's really like a big deal, because you have a lot of cryptocurrencies out there, and I mean, best case scenario, they have a wallet, and in their wallet may not even be on every platform. You guys have the wallet, you have it on Linux and Windows, and now you have this messenger app. That's kind of a big deal. I know you guys are still under the radar. So how I stumbled across Obsidian, I was looking for Masternode type coins that had credibility.
Hey, let's talk about Masternodes, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that.
Because this is something like, I mean, Masternode topic, I love it, I hate it for some time, because people have, it's hard to get the expectations people really have from a Masternode. Yeah. I mean, the history of our Masternode is that people, when the white paper was written, said, are you going to have Masternodes? Okay, are we going to have Masternodes, or do we have Masternodes? And yes, from a technical standpoint, what is a masternode? The masternode is a full blockchain node. A blockchain node is a node that replicates the blockchain, and a masternode has mostly a balance, and the balance is stored in the wallet. So a masternode is a full blockchain node, actually, compared to an SPV wallet, for example. Masternode has a full blockchain and is a full-featured node, and maybe with more. And the question is, what's the more? So what we have is our best node we have at the moment is our Qt wallet. This is a full-featured node. I mean, it's not just a wallet, it's also a full node. It downloads blockchain, it checks everything, it negotiates consensus. And we are a proof of stake coin with a 20 Obsidian block reward per block every minute. So these nodes in the Qt wallet, they are earning rewards. They're earning their rewards, which are roughly, if you translate it, how many blocks does a year have or so, and how many coins do we have? This is a little more than a 10% return on the current balance.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
So now we have this, everyone can use this. Yeah? And the process to get rewards is normally, it's called staking. Yeah? You just let it run, you unlock your wallet for staking. And you're supporting the network then, and you're stabilizing the network, and you're getting rewards. And you have your voting right proportionally to the stake you're staking, for example.
Yeah.
So this is quite a good thing. So, but we also said in our white paper, well, maybe in the future we will make special masternodes, and there's normally a minimum to how many coins make in masternodes and so. And we said, okay, we are not sure, but I think we are targeting 10,000 coins for such a reward. And at the moment this is not enforced. Yeah? So you already get rewards theoretically with 1 coin or with 500 coins or 5,000 tens or 9,000 tens, but there's no there's no lower limit, for example. And people keep asking on our Discord channel, so when will you have masternodes? And I always ask them, okay, what are you waiting for? What are you expecting? Because the returns won't get higher than they are now, because we cannot pay more. I mean, the point where our masternodes will really be masternodes in that sense is when these nodes are also being paid for message transport in the future, and then they will also earn fees for message transport. But this is something different than maintaining the blockchain. And normally in coins, just with, like, for example, Dash or so, masternodes do only blockchain services with blockchain, like stabilizing the blockchain, replicating it, or have governance function. And our nodes are already doing this. So there is no lower limit of coins, but this is already happening because we are a proof of stake coin. And in a proof of stake coin, the role of a normal node is very important because it's also used for voting. I mean, there's no hash power, there's just a stake that you have. And the higher your stake, the higher your voting rights is in case of a fork or so. And you're getting rewards. So in one way, we already have kind of masternodes for everyone with no lower limit. On the other hand, the people are not really happy. And I also admit there are some special, I mean, Masternode is an expression, it always has this VIP touch. And people want to have this VIP touch and they want to have something special.
Right.
So they are really asking for something more, and we don't have this yet. And but until these masternodes would do really special services for the network, in addition to what they are already doing, there's also not really a reason to change something. Yeah. And nobody is also presenting this, making any good suggestions what we should change. Yeah? Maybe we should just introduce this lower limit. But on the other hand, it's also quite fair. I mean, we have lots of users from Africa, from Bangladesh or something, who are staking with their 250 coins or so. And I mean, is it really worth it to take this away from them? I don't know. I mean, this is open for debate. There is no fixed decision in place for this.
So you're saying right now, uh, the
I would say we
Masternode,
are not real Masternode coin in that sense.
right?
Our Masternodes are not VIP. Yeah.
But you are
However,
a
we have
proof of stake. Proof
yeah,
of
we are
stake.
proof of stake.
Like that is already enabled. People
That is
can
already enabled,
and
and
that
this is working.
and that's
From the reward side or from the rate from the return on investment side, people are already earning Masternode rewards by staking, but it hasn't got this title Masternode.
right.
And so this is really so I'd say we are maybe we're a half Masternode coin or something.
Yeah, I understand. So what's the staking process? You just hold the coins in your wallet? Is that the
Yeah,
case?
you just hold the coins in your wallet, and the wallet must be online.
Online? Oh, it has to be online. Okay.
And online quite constantly, because when you're taking it offline, it will take some while until you're staking it.
And when it's online, it's kind of acting as a masternode in a way.
Yeah, it helps linking all the other wallets. It helps establishing the consensus. So in a technical sense, this is perfectly fine, and there's no need to change this.
Right. So,
but when people hear masternodes, they want, I think, something like additional benefits or something. Otherwise, some people are kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, there is a market out there. There is competition. I mean, right? I mean, if every other coin out there is offering this masternode feature, the competition is real. I mean, there's got to be some kind of benefit to the network for hosting a masternode. You know, it's online practically 24/7.
And what I'm missing is also, like, for example, what to stake a SOC. Yeah? Because our coin is a very good coin to stake. Price is slowly going up, so the inflation from our 10% return is not hitting too hard, and the profits at 10% is quite a good return.
Yeah.
For example, it's in practice it's even more than 10%. It's perhaps like 15 or 16, 18%, because not everyone's staking, and all the others get the rewards of those who don't stake.
Okay.
So it's pretty profitable to stake Obsidian, actually. Yeah.
Okay, just curious. So there's like this reward, 10%. Is that sustainable forever? That will eventually run out, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a finance background from my studies, finance and economics. And in finance, you would say, okay, a risky project must have a higher internal rate of return or something. But I think for such a young project, so a rate of return of 10% is fine, because the growth rate should, in any case, be more than 10% per year. It should perhaps, for a new coin, it should be at least 100% every year. Yeah, they have to double your users every month, and I'm sure we're doing this. So I think it's not too much. And to reduce this, at some point, a fork is necessary, because otherwise you can't reduce this.
Yeah.
I mean, the soft fork. And so the community has to agree where we go from here. And also, if we really want to implement these masternodes with a hard limit or so, also a soft fork is necessary, because we don't have it in our hands anymore. We distributed the wallet. If we create a new wallet with different rules, for example, a lower block reward or this masternode limits, the majority must agree. Otherwise, it won't happen, because these are the rules of the blockchain.
And so that was, I mean, that's part of the one of the features of Masternodes is voting rights. When you get that consensus.
And in proof of stake in general, your voting right is your staking right. Right. Yeah? If you have 1% of all the coins in your wallet, then this is equals your voting right. So in contrast to Dash, where is also mining, it's a different process, because normal consensus is the mining consensus, the miners consensus. But in proof of stake, it's the same. So there are so proof of stake is a very elegant thing, because you already accounted for the voting process by your economic right, actually. So you don't need to separate voting algorithm in masternodes, because you're already doing this in quite a good way, according to your economic right of coins you're staking. So this is really it would be pointless to duplicate this mechanism, yeah, because it will certainly not be better than it is currently. For example, one problem with Masternodes is also if you need a registration, then you trust certain people for the registration process and for the privileged position, and just and with staking you can just buy the coins, and nobody can sell it, and nobody's checking this. Nobody is in charge. It's an untrusted voting mechanism.
Yeah, I think the staking is great. I like it. I mean, but from just my impression, I don't think it's very advertised very much, the whole staking process. I think it's great, so it should be advertised. It should be like on the forefront, like, hey, whatever coins you hold, you're going to get X amount of bonus for keeping them in your wallet. Like, that should be like advertised more, or you know, made pretty obvious to the people getting involved in Obsidian. It seems to me like, so I'm under. It's not a bad thing. I mean, if you guys don't fulfill Masternodes, okay, whatever. At least you got the staking. You guys got a great coin. You got a great team. You got great marketing, great website. You got a lot going for it. Just out of curiosity, is it safe to say Masternodes are coming down the line? Is it part of the roadmap? I don't, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the roadmap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because so from my technical architecture plan, the decentralized node that are hosting messages, so I would call those masternodes, and they are definitely coming.
Okay, great. That's a good thing, and I think that's what people want to hear. I mean, I know you hear a lot of people saying when, but I mean,
that's not the next step. Right? The next step is we get really cross-platform on these three key platforms, like Surface and Android and iOS and something. And then we want to integrate the wallet into the messenger.
Absolutely.
And if that all works, we will start the decentralization. Because the decentralization of decentralized hosting is still very much research and development for everyone. So, I mean, there are, for example, Shift. You know Shift? They are also working with decentralized internet, for example.
Okay.
And they are using this IPFS protocol, the Internet Interplanetary File System.
Okay.
So,
well, there's. Go ahead.
It's a hard thing. I mean, decentralization it's working very well with blockchains, but on blockchains you have a very limited payload. Yeah, you just have the blocks, and this is not a lot of data. Yeah, for example, on the blockchain, decentralization works. Every block is distributed in every transaction to everyone on the network, and to everything on the network. But you cannot do this with messages. Example. Imagine everyone posts bunches of selfies every moment, every time to all participating nodes in the world. It cannot work this way. So it's in case of as a message transport, decentralization must work differently, and it's more difficult and must be more sophisticated because you cannot just broadcast all the data to everyone. This won't scale, and people don't want to wait 10 minutes till the message arrives. They want to have the message in 1 second. So, like on WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. So there are really to accomplish this and different protocols, and you cannot with the blockchain. You cannot save selfies in the blockchain. The blockchain will just blow up. This won't work. So we are doing all the other steps before we are doing this, and we are also looking at the competition with what they come up, best ideas, to get a little bit help. I mean, I have own ideas how I plan to accomplish this.
Right.
I won't say here. I have to test, but this is really some piece of research. I mean, in computer sciences, almost everything can be done if you try hard enough.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic with this will work at some point.
I'm sure you're losing a lot of sleep over that. I applaud you for the progress you guys have made so far with the app. You got it up, you know.
I mean, actually, I've started developing this encrypted messaging app like 3 years ago or so, and it takes time because you really have to learn, and you have to sleep a lot actually, and to make progress. Now it's live. First version is live. It's great. I'm very happy about this. And now we have to monitor the performance and see the metrics and see how it is used, and we can constantly improve this from here.
Just a general question. I wasn't sure, but I know you guys are in the whole data protection. Is Obsidian considered an anonymity type coin?
The coin not. The messages, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Not the coin. The Obsidian blockchain is like Bitcoin with Blackcoin proof of stake.
Are there any plans that you know of to partner with any companies in the near future, or any at all in general?
Maybe.
Okay.
For example, one of the reasons we forked the Stratus coin. The Strat coin is a fork of Blackcoin, which is a fork of Bitcoin with Blackcoin proof of stake. And we forked the Stratus coin because Stratus is developing this awesome re-implementation of a full blockchain node all in C#, which is a very handy programming language. And the Obsidian coin is also compatible with their Stratus Bitcoin full node, which works for Bitcoin and works for Stratus. The advantage of using C# is that it's to change and to handle and to extend, in contrast to an old C++ code base. So, I mean, C++ is fine, but in C#, which is more modern, you have better debuggers, you can better experiment with this and make. So this is a good platform to do things differently. And Obsidian is compatible with this.
Okay.
So we can, and we will do experiments with that. And, or maybe, for example, I think a lot of people say we and Stratus should cooperate in certain ways.
So right now, I think you guys are listed on what is it? Cryptopia, right?
Yeah, on Cryptopia, on HitBTC, on CCX.
I'm guessing the intention is maybe sometime in 2018 you guys would like to be listed on Binance or Bittrex.
It's not that easy to get on the exchange, to get their attentions, because there are so many projects popping up as blockchain and everyone wants to get on some exchange.
Oh yeah, thousands of them.
And so it's really, already the communication procedure is kind of very tedious.
Yeah.
And for good reasons, all the larger exchanges are really looking for quality listing, for quality, when they list something. They know their positions. They are basically the gatekeepers to all the investors' money, and they are very aware of this position. So you really have to offer either have good relations or offer kind of a really good product. So what we decided was, okay, now we are aware of the situation. We have quite a good exchange to put behind HitBTC. So this is enough for now. And so let's first bring our app to the App Store, and then let's get back to them.
Yeah, the App Store, that would be great.
For example, the Binance CEO was saying, yeah, come on, surprise us positively, impress us. Yeah? Show us a great app. This is what the Binance CEO writes on his LinkedIn profile or on a post linked on his LinkedIn profile. So the decision was made, okay, let's not run against walls here or something. Let's just
one thing at a time. Get your app out there one thing at a time. Yeah.
Then we do the next round.
Gotcha. And then, so once you have your app on the App Store everywhere and it's solidified, that's a pretty good bragging rights, for a cryptocurrency, especially if you got people using it, word gets around.
Yes, I hope it will find good adoption. I think now is not the time to really advertise this and try to get users on the app, because it's not really unfinished. But the point is coming. The point is coming. I've got a certain 1.0 feature set in mind. And I first want to have this implemented before we start advertising the app, because it's a security relevant app, and you can't advertise a half finished product as a secure app.
No, I understand completely. Yeah.
For example, we have on-device. We've got on-device encryption, very good on-device encryption.
Yeah.
But for example, at the moment, only the text messages are encrypted and the pictures are not encrypted. Yeah. So this is bullshit. Yeah, you can't advertise this. This is really. This is even dangerous. And in the field of security, you have to really take care of what you say, because otherwise you get a backlash.
Good point. I agree. However, not advertising, but any encrypted messenger is better than using something like Facebook or Twitter or whatever, you know. So that's a pretty big deal. So I saw this XXL dashboard.
I think it can come handy, for example, when you are staking on a Rasp or so. Yeah. And you don't want to do SSH all the time to log in. Or is it still running? Is it still staking or something? Or you can have got a web UI for your staking node. Okay. And some people really want to show also, show off their node. And I mean, it's a little bit of a fun project.
Yeah.
So, but it could also be when you have so-called real Masternode, it can really be like a control panel or something. I think it's cool. It looks good. I like the web design in particular.
Yeah. Okay, so this is somebody. I noticed somebody on the messenger asked this question. They said, "What is the next big milestone for Obsidian development?"
The next big milestone.
Yes.
Well, the next big milestone is get to work this perfectly on three platforms, like Windows, Android, iOS. I think this is still a milestone. Yeah? Gotcha. I think this should be the first quarter 2018 milestone, because there's between working and working very good and working perfectly, I think there's a whole range of this. And so the next 3 months or so will definitely see covering of the Windows and iOS platform and simply improvements. And the milestone after this would be the wallet integration, and the milestone after that would be the decentralization of everything, including masternodes that get paid for the decentralized services. To decentralize the messaging network, you have to incentivize people to run messaging nodes all over the world, in Alaska, in New Zealand, and everywhere. And the idea is to pay them with Obsidian.
It's possible, right? It's something that's can be implemented, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, no. This is I mean, this is really our plan to do this, because this is a kind of an economic model. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to host the messaging nodes. I mean, you have to really provide computer hardware, you have to provide bandwidth, so this costs you something. Yeah. Okay, maybe some people do this from idealism, but okay, you want to get paid, you want to have margin. And the idea is, okay, these people who host the messaging nodes, the network, so they get paid in Obsidian. And the people who send messages, or send many messages, they pay these nodes for hosting. So this is a special Obsidian economy, in addition to Obsidian being just a normal coin like Bitcoin.
Right.
So the Obsidian coin has a special usage for that you pay for message transport or priority messages transports above a free tier with Obsidian coins, and the people who host the nodes, they can make money in transporting messages.
And this, so you're gonna pay off the people. Well, I'm sure you guys look at other coins and see what they're doing, take that into consideration. Something I noticed was, like Dash and what is it, Cardano, right? So I'm not trying to downplay you guys' coin at all. You guys are just starting out, props to you guys. But something they've implemented, just you may already know about this, is a treasury system. So it's like the code is designed to automatically pay out people proportional to their efforts. And this way, you guys aren't, trying to waste your time to get involved to determine payouts for people and how much Obsidian where. So there's a governance model built into this treasury code that does that automatically. Maybe it's proportional to their inputs to the GitHub or whatnot, something like that.
Good question.
Yeah.
It's complicated for sure to do something. I mean, the point is we don't need this right now. We don't need this yet. Yeah. And for example, I mean, you can do this, for example, take the staking rewards or something. You can say, we fork the coin so that certain amount of all the rewards or transaction fees goes to a special address which is owned by a foundation which manages the open source project so that it gets sustained. But I think this is something we need in the future, but we don't need this in the next 2 years.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in agreement with that. So maybe somewhere down the horizon, no big deal. So this has been a great interview with you, Claus, and I really appreciate having you on. Obsidian is a new project. Granted, it's just my opinion. I'm putting the input. So granted, the Masternodes are not fully implemented yet. It is on the horizon, in summary. And however, staking is implemented. What was the staking reward? 10%?
It's 10% plus.
Okay. So you have to hold your coins in the wallet. The wallet has to be online. And they do have a messenger service, which can be found on their website. Download it through the APK right now. Hopefully it'll be on the App Store soon.
It's supposed to become the most secure and most anonymous messenger.
Obsidian, new coin. We got a developer here on Crypto Trends. They're actively developing this coin, and that's more than a lot of coins can say, because I visited those Masternode coin sites where they don't have a single member of their team listed on their website. We got them here on the channel tonight. Thanks for being a part of this, Claus. I appreciate it.
It's a nice talk.
All right, take care.